They had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy.
What a silly and trite explanation that would be.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios.
Zdravím vás, gameri, vítajte v 6. epizóde Stanleyho príbehu a rozprávať sa zdá, že dal nám nové veci do pôvodnej hry, takže poďme na to. Nový content pokračuje, aspoň verím.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Aha.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Oh.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Jej. Takže teraz je to kvázi tradičná hra zase? A hej, je to tradičná hra zase.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. Čo sa tu zmenilo?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Aha. Možno je chyba, že som zobral bucket, že? Náš kýbliček. Oh.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Takže vy si tu nemyslíte, že to je to môj kýblik, padajte do čerta.
You and the bucket have shared together.
Idem
Go
preč.
through each of them point by point.
Počkaj, to mám.
Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
OK. Ideme.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
OK.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
OK. Keď myslíš...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Hey.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Jasné.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Samozrejme. Oh!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes,
Stanlerines.
I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
OK. Počka, teraz taká otázka. Dá sa akože prejsť každý koniec znovu s týmto, alebo ako to je? ma trošku pletie.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Okay. Ja verím svojmu kýbliku.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
OK, tak skúsime to prejsť. Taďalto. Dobre.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Ale vieme, čo to je.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
Ale
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly
to je teraz hlavná postava?
as
Stanley alebo
gently,
kýblik?
reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Aha.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Okay.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
OK.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
OK, otázka je, toto vyzerá teda ako rovnaké konce.
Yes, they had done it.
Má teda zmysel ich ukazovať všetky, lebo v podstate tam budeme iba počuť, že to je Stanley a kýblik, že?
Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Uh-oh.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
OK. To bolo dosť rozdielne, len otázka je, že sa to fakt oplatí. Počkať. Aha.
All of his co-workers were, oh please, are you really just doing this for the achievement?
click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort.
Počkaj, vyskúšame to bez kyblika.
5 clicks.
Dobre,
Now suppose you were to click the
klidek.
door 20 times. I would say when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Nič tu nie je.
This room. What a beautiful, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Poďme ale sem.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Počkať. Okay.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
OK, dá sa... počkať. Asi sa dá vrátiť nejako.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
Našli sme pravdu o rozprávačovi.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
OK. Takže to je nový koniec.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figurine Finders Committee. Meeting today v meeting room. Čože? Počkaj, oni mi dajú doslova návod, ako nájsť tie figúrky. Tak sa poďme pozrieť. Vyskúšame to bez kyblika, pretože s kyblikom sme tam nič nenašli, že? OK, ako to... Completionist instinct, OK, ako ich nájsť všetkých? Stairs. Something to do with the stair. Dobre, jediné schody, čo sú ďalšie keď ideme k šéfovi hore, takže pôjdeme dole asi, lebo hore nebolo nič. Lebo našli sme to aj s kyblikom vtedy. Niekde, kde je červená aj modrá. OK, takže to vieme, kde je. Schody sú trošku... OK.
Oh no,
Okay.
No, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to be coming to a staircase.
Schody.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anlerines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anlerines. None of us can.
OK. Teraz dôležitá otázka. Môžem urobiť toto? Aby sme sa nezdržiavali. Dobré.
No, stop.
Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
Ako vieme, že to je
I
kýblik?
suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point.
Keď to nie je
Which,
kýblik.
if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Akože... OK. Naozaj?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Nie.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Čože?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Nie.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Ako nás tu donúti, že to je bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Ale no tak.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Áno.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I think this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Áno.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Čo sa tu deje?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Oh.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Nie! Nie możesz!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
O nie.
was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? and we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Kýblik. Samé kýbliky. Idem neustále samé kýbliky. Aj. Okay.
Already this was full. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Počka, to je všetko? OK. Teda nemá význam, no. To sme už videli. Oh. Čo sa deje?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
Celkom
Didn't it
hej.
fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
OK. Previte. Oh.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 zo 6. O nie. O nie, my sa teraz utopíme vo figúrkach, čo?
And here was a second Stanley.
No
You found this
tak.
one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
OK. Daj pokoj.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Myslím si, že tu? Za týmito vecami, ne?
Hey! That's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but
Nebol
I
som
shouldn't
si
be
istý.
surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Oh.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a figgly in this pink room.
Čo?
Well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Čo sa to zase deje?
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Nie.
Enjoy.
O no. O nie.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Oh. Oh, Záver.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Oh. Oh ho ho.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
O nie. Okej, teraz je otázka.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards.
Yeah.
We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction.
Yeah.
See how that feels.
Ale no tak. To fakt nemusíme robiť, chlape.
Okay, yes. The room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Okay.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Nah.
Yes, I love that video.
Toto je šialené.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
OK. Som veľmi šťastný, že sa tešíš z rúžovej
These
miestnosti.
really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
OK. Ako je tento koniec sa nejako rozbehol, že?
This was our second figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going.
Yeah.
What else is there? What came before this?
O nie, skakajúci kruh.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite... Oh, yes! The two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
O nie.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
OK. OK, teraz dôležitá vec je, že ukončíme epizódu už asi. Otázka je, čo ešte máme ukazovať, lebo máme ísť na každý koniec s kýblikom, lebo to sa zmení len trošku text, ale zase tradičný koniec sa úplne zmenil, že? Neviem ako na to ľudia a ešte si to premyslím do ďalšej epizódy, ktorá možno bude už finálna. Uvidíme. Každopádne ďakujem za sledovanie tejto epizódy. Prajem príjemný deň, príjemné hranie. Majte sa.